Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick test of the Cuisinart 11 cup stainless steel food processor and the Vitamix 5300 blender. A lot of people that are investing in a high-end blender are concerned if they could just get the job done with a food processor. And while the two have similar functions, they're definitely not the same. You could test anything with this, and some test the blender's going to win, and some the food processor will win. But in this round, we're going to do garbanzo beans, and we're going to make them into a really simple hummus. So starting off with 1 can of drained and rinsed garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas, and a 1/4 cup of water. The food processor really does well in tests like this. It does great at low liquid environments, tabbouleh and hummus and these sort of things. Whereas the blender, it either needs a lot of liquid or a lot of chickpeas in this case. So 2 or 3 cans probably would have been ideal, whereas 1 can doesn't quite cut it, especially when using the wide mouth container that comes stock with the Vitamix 5300. Okay, so the blending is finished, and we're going to look at the results. As you'll see in a second, the Cuisinart did a really good job. It works well without a lot of liquid and has no problem dealing with a single can of chickpeas. The Vitamix, on the other hand, it kind of spits the chickpeas out to the sides where they stick, and without sufficient liquid or sufficient chickpeas in there, it can't really get a good blend. So here's the results scraped across a cutting board. You'll see the Cuisinart on the left is really smooth and it had a good scrape across, whereas the chickpeas on the right from the blender are really chunky. Now we're doing a second blend with some olive oil in there. Not much more liquid. Again, Cuisinart is doing a great job. The blender, it's not enough in there for it really to blend. So again, a second can or a third can would have done a great job. But you could see where the blade just sort of scrapes and it's not hitting anything. So now I combined the 2 cans into the blender, and it's actually doing a really good job now. A little bit more liquid, or again, more chickpeas does it, except now you can see it hits an air bubble and it stops. That's why it includes the attachment, that sort of big stick thing that you could move to pop air bubbles. Again, another air bubble with 2 cans. And you can hear that in the background. Here's the result, and now we're getting a really nice, fine, well-blended chickpea mixture. And lastly, here's the actual hummus itself. I added the rest of the ingredients and finished it in the blender, where it came out really nicely. But the fact of the matter is that you needed a lot of ingredients for the blender to work here, whereas the food processor could have handled it with just 1 can.